All right, Tennessee Titans fans, we are here today with a video from TPS where they said all 32 NFL teams Mount Rushmore, which 4 players made it for your team? They are about to give us the Tennessee Titans Mount Rushmore all time. I'm assuming this includes Houston Oilers dating all the way back, but we will see. And then when it's over, I will give my personal Mount Rushmore, and then you can give me yours in the comments below. This is TPS. Everybody be sure to click like and subscribe. Let's see what they said.
Tennessee Titans, Bruce Matthews, Earl Campbell, Elvin Bethea, and Eddie George. Matthews spent his career with the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. He helped the team reach their first Super Bowl, made 14 Pro Bowls, and played in 296 games. Campbell, known for his aggressiveness, unique power, and speed, was the NFL MVP in 1979 and led the league in rushing yards 3 times. Bethea did not make things easy for his opponents. He earned 8 Pro Bowl nods, had 105 sacks, and 16 fumble recoveries. George, a standout running back, helped the Titans reach their first Super Bowl. He made 4 Pro Bowls and is the Titans' leading rusher with 10,009 yards. Washington Commanders, Darrell Green.
Oh boy. Where do I even start? First of all, I don't have anything against any of these people mentioned. I don't have anything against any of them. All just Hall of Fame players, okay? It's not that I have any problem with them or those choices. Well, I do have a problem with those choices. But those players are absolutely. How, I don't know if you can see him or not, how this man does not make it on this list. How this man right here does not make it onto a Mount Rushmore of Tennessee Titans players is absolutely mind-boggling. That you would come up with a Mount Rushmore of Tennessee Titans / Houston Oiler players, and you don't include that man, Steve Air McNair. You don't include him on that list. He's not on the Mount Rushmore. He should be the first one. Well, Earl Campbell, if we're dating back to the Oiler days, Earl Campbell, I'm not going to fault you if that's the first name that comes to your mind. But Steve should be second. All due respect to Eddie. All due respect to Eddie George. I love Eddie George. But when this man said, well, he helped the Titans get to the Super Bowl, Eddie George is the one that, listen, Eddie played his part. I ain't got nothing against Eddie. But if you want to know who also played a pretty big part in the Titans getting to the Super Bowl, you need to talk about Steve McNair. And also, a couple years later, when Eddie was struggling to get going, Steve McNair carried this team on his back for years. That's insane that you would have a Mount Rushmore for the Tennessee Titans without Steve Air McNair. Whoa. So if I were going to put together my personal Titans Mount Rushmore, first of all, I'm iffy on dating all the way back to the Oilers for 2 reasons. Number one, it just feels it feels like a different team. It feels like a different, especially since we're not wearing the Oiler throwbacks anymore, and we're kind of, we've brought Warren Moon's number out of retirement, and his explanation was that it's kind of 2 different things because we were the Oilers, this is the Titans. There's that, but also I was born in 93. So I can't sit here and tell you all about Warren Moon and all of the player, the edge rusher that they talked about. I can't sit here and just give you a history lesson on them because I was not even a twinkle in my father's eye at that time. So, with that being said, my Mount Rushmore, probably a little more geared toward, my generation, but Steve would be the first one on there. I did like the choice of Bruce Matthews. That's a tough one to take off, but I would say Steve. I would say Eddie. I would keep Eddie on. It's just to have him without Steve. I mean, it just feels ridiculous. I would put Steve and Eddie both on my Mount Rushmore. Some of you ain't going to like this. I would put Derrick Henry on my Mount Rushmore. I know. He's a Raven now, and we're all mad about it, but I would put Derrick on my Mount Rushmore. I mean, you talk about carrying the team. I mean, that 2019 playoff run to the AFC title game was special. Followed by a 2,000-yard season, followed by a season where he was so dominant that he was about to lap people in terms of yards in the league, and then he hurt his foot, and it ruined everything. But he was going to surpass his record from the year before the next year. And then he was still playing pretty well the last 2 years when he was here, and we were horrible. And now look what he's doing with Baltimore. So Derrick would be on my Mount Rushmore. Steve, Eddie, Derrick. And then that last spot, of course, I think of CJ2K. I just hate to have 3 running backs, but that's the most Titans thing ever, to have a Mount Rushmore and most of them are running backs. I mean, that's very Titans. But I also think about Bruce Matthews. I think about the freak, Javon Curse. I think about Jarrell Casey. Underrated name, I think of Samari Rolle. I wouldn't put him on there, but his name just came to mind. Honestly, as much as I hate to go with 3 running backs, I'm going to have to give it to CJ2K. I've talked about this in the past. A big fan of CJ2K, obviously. I just don't look back on those years as fondly because I remember most of the time he was with the Titans were very bad, like winning 2 and 3 games for years and years and years. So it's hard for me to look back on his time with the Titans fondly because I just think of bad football, not from him. But I think for the legacy he has and the player that he was and the speed, I have to give that final spot to Chris Johnson. Steve, man, I hate to take Bruce off, though. Steve, Eddie, Derrick, and CJ2K. I think I'm going to have to go. And honestly, you could have a Mount Rushmore of all running backs if you took off Steve and went with Earl Campbell, but I don't think you can take off Steve. I don't think you can have this list without Steve. Let me know your Tennessee Titans Mount Rushmore in the comments. Even if you're not a Titans fan and you just know a lot about us, let me know in the comments below. Tighten up. Bye.